Okay, I think we're live. Are we? Can you guys? I think there's a chat featured. So I'm a little new to the streaming stuff. So I think I just figured out how to get it started here because I was having a bit of a difficult time at first. Anybody in the chat? I think the chat works on here right now. If you want to let me know if you can hear me. I think we're good. Hey, sweet. Awesome. Thanks, Greg. All right, everybody. Weather forecaster Trevor Cole here with our stream debut. Just figured this won't be continuous coverage unless warranted, but I'll at least be around here for just a little while, letting you know what's going on. So no tornado warnings in effect across the area right now, so that's good. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Boone, Kent, and Campbell County in northern Kentucky at the moment for this storm right here. National Weather Service is advertising winds up to 60 miles per hour and hail up to 1 inch. Well, actually, it looks like they just dropped the warning. So it must have fallen just below severe limits. We're talking about this storm right here. As you saw in real time there, the warning expired. And unless they issue a new one for that, let's see if actually, we'll look at the hail product here on here and see what that's looking like. I mean, we still have a couple decent hail. So this is a radar product that shows where the radar thinks there might be hail. And obviously, the higher the number, the brighter the color, the more likelihood that there's hail. I'm still seeing 2 hail cores here that should be watched. But at the moment, unless they are actually issuing a new warning right now for those storms, they have fallen below severe limits. So that's good news. North of the river, nothing really going on at the moment. And overall, across the area, it's rather quiet right now. We can even go over to Indianapolis's radar here. Not a whole lot going on there. Down to Louisville, not a whole lot there either. I'll pull up the severe weather risk for today from the Storm Prediction Center. Here's our risk area today. Marginals in the green, level 1 out of 5. Level 2 out of 5 would be in the yellow. That is a slight risk. And then actually it looks like they've even continued to increase our risk here in the city to now downtown Cincinnati and vicinity is under a level 3 out of 5 risk, or an enhanced risk for severe weather. And this will largely be due to what's coming in later tonight. And actually, let's pull up the models here. We'll get you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. We're going to use the high resolution rapid refresh model. Hold on one sec, let me get you here. Okay, there we go. Again, man, I'm learning. This is great. This is fun. Never streamed before, but we're learning. All right, here's essentially, let's go back to 18Z. So here's essentially a snapshot of the atmosphere right now. Cincinnati here in the center of your screen. Warm front just to the north of town. So you can see obviously up to the north, these are temperatures. Much cooler, 40s and 50s. So if you are on the north side right now, you're like, what warm front compared to what we're dealing with down here. A huge temperature contrast. And some basic meteorology there is temperature contrasts like this can be a focal point for thunderstorm development. In this case, this is a warm front. So let's do a little future radar tracking here, and I'll kind of break it down hour by hour. So you can see here's kind of, so we're at 5 o'clock right now. So this is what the radar, this is a model run that came out just a couple hours ago, and it actually, there you go, did a pretty good job of predicting where this cell would be. You know, it's very close to where it's actually at there in northern Kentucky right now. So this is a future radar, and again, with future radar, just know that it's not going to turn out exactly like this. But it's kind of the model's guesstimate of what the radar is going to look like. So it's a good tool to kind of use as guidance, but nothing more than that. You know, it's not etched in stone. So here we'll kind of get forward. So you can see this is 7 p.m. And this model is showing a pretty quiet evening. Not a whole lot going on. This will be 10 p.m. Still not a whole lot going on. There's a couple thunderstorms. Got to be on guard. Any of these storms that develop today can go severe. But as you can see, the coverage isn't super high tonight. So that's some good news. I should say this evening. So this will be 10 p.m. And then we kind of, see maybe a little bit of an uptick between let's say 9 p.m. and midnight. And then those kind of lift to the north. And this will be by 1 a.m. And you can see on the north side here, northern posters, this is where you kind of maybe, you guys might be more in the line for some stronger activity. Again, this is 1 in the morning. And then we kind of fast forward a little bit. This will be 3 a.m. And as you can see, this will be part of what's a possible mesoscale convective complex. Layman's terms, it's just a big blob, big cluster of thunderstorms, some severe, some strong. We see these a lot during the summer months. We do see them in the spring as well, as we're probably going to see tonight. So you can see that. So this will be 3 in the morning tonight. We've got, widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. This will be 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. See, we're just getting blasted by some heavy thunderstorms. 7. This will be carrying us into the morning commute tomorrow. This will be 8, 9, and then there will be 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So let's kind of do that one more time for you guys. Again, this is a future radar. It's probably not going to look exactly like this, but we'll kind of use this as a tool and as guidance. So we'll run through it again. So you can see this is this afternoon. This will be 6 p.m., 7, 8. Again, the radar, the model's not really suggesting much of anything strong to severe this evening. I would caution and say still be on guard because these things could just pop up like that. The good news, though, is it's not going to be widespread. So we're not talking about a severe weather outbreak tonight. That will change tomorrow. We'll get to that here in a second. So the model's kind of toning things down for this evening, which is good. Then it picks up overnight, though. So again, this will be 9 p.m., not a whole lot going on. 10 p.m., a couple showers, thunderstorms around the area. Again, any of these could be severe. They might not look too impressive on this radar product, but any of these storms could be severe. They'll be more isolated to scattered in nature. Then we get towards 11 p.m., midnight. You can see we kind of have maybe a band of strong thunderstorms pushing through. So got to keep an eye on that. And then we get into 1, 2, again, possibly some severe weather. Dayton, down through southeastern Indiana. Might be a focal area for strong thunderstorm activity going into the early overnight hours. And then we'll kind of keep going here. This will be 3 in the morning. Again, this is that mesoscale convective complex or mesoscale convective system. Again, big cluster of thunderstorms, possibly severe, that might be racing through here overnight. And one thing I also want to touch on with this as well. Notice how we are just getting blasted with rainfall. So we are under flood watch tonight, this evening through tomorrow evening. These kind of setups with mesoscale convective systems usually lead to a lot of training. And by that I mean the axis is kind of laid down west to east or southwest to northeast. So you can almost see here it's almost west to east. That can lead to a lot of repeated heavy rounds, heavy thunderstorms, and can cause rainfall amounts to add up very quickly. So I think that we might actually, on top of the severe weather threat tonight, which is very much existent, and into tomorrow morning, we probably will be dealing with some flooding issues. I probably will see a lot of flood advisories issued across the area. Again, that's only if you're really in those low-lying susceptible areas. Just be mindful of that going forward. And then this will take us in. Again, I'll stop it here at 10 a.m. and we'll most likely be cleared out by that point. Maybe not necessarily having sunshine, but the rain and thunderstorm activity should be over. Let's real quick change sources here, pop back and check the radar to make sure nothing popped up while I was flapping my gums there. Okay. All right. So right now, again, no severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings. That is good. That will be changing. I guarantee you that tonight and tomorrow. We'll probably be having a lot of warnings issued across the area. Not necessarily all tornado warnings, but a lot of warnings in general: flood, thunderstorm, and tornado. So again, pretty quiet. Again, we just got to watch these though. Like these cells, don't have warnings on them right now, but you can see the little brighter colors here, indicative of hail, most likely, and right now below severe limits because there's no warning. But could see some of these storms pulse up to severe limits with large hail, inch plus in diameter. Real quick before we get into tomorrow, I want to kind of pull back here and make sure we got nothing really going on. I'll loop Louisville actually. And you can see these are just like popping up, just pop-up thunderstorms, some of which are turning severe. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right now, though, we can kind of move away from that because there's nothing super serious going on there. Let's go back to modeling. Or actually, hold that thought. Let's do our severe weather outlook for tomorrow before we go to the modeling. And guys, we have a big update here, so want to focus in here if you're here watching. So if you've been following the page, you remember I said I've been harping on Tuesday being a possible big day for a few days now. I've been noting that we need to be on guard and that the Storm Prediction Center was probably going to upgrade our risk. And well, that is just what they did. Here is what I am talking about. Let me get the radar off. Let's go there. Okay. This is an outlook that was released just a little bit ago. Again, severe weather threat tomorrow has been increased yet again, kind of as I was expecting, if you saw my posts earlier. Green is marginal, 1 out of 5. Slight is in yellow, 2 out of 5. We're in a slight to enhanced today. Slight is 2 out of 5. Enhanced is 3 out of 5. And now there is a 4 out of 5 risk for severe thunderstorms tomorrow across the Cincinnati area. So what does that mean? So this is a moderate risk. That's what that 4 out of 5 risk name is. This is a pretty high risk for Cincinnati. There's a 5. This is a 5-tier scale, so this is 4 out of 5. And what a moderate risk means is widespread severe weather is possible, or widespread severe weather is likely. That's strong wording, but it's strong wording for a reason. Tomorrow could be a pretty rough day across the area. I'll kind of get to the modeling on that in a second. But this is new. Again, if you've been following along, you know I was posting that we probably would get a moderate risk for somewhere in the region. I think I started saying that yesterday, and alas, here we go. 4 out of 5, and for almost the entire Cincinnati Weather Center viewing area. And I don't want you to focus too much on where these lines are drawn. As you see, like, well, portions of these counties in the area are not in it. These are rough outlines. These are not exactly. Storms don't necessarily follow, our forecasts or the outlines of a severe thunderstorm risk area. These are just where the parameters are highest, where the conditions are most favorable, and this is the lines they delineated here. These risk areas will switch around so there's the next update for tomorrow will be overnight tonight. The SPC will issue a new outlook around, I think, 2 a.m. So this map will update at 2 a.m. and then it'll update again tomorrow at, I think, 9 a.m. or something. We just had the time change that always messes me up. And then again, late morning and then afternoon. So we're going to get probably 4 more maps, if I'm counting correctly, for tomorrow. So again, don't hold these, as gospel here. This map will change. The key message here, though, is that the threat is increasing as we expected it would based on the parameters. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to show you the tornado outlook. So these probabilities, these risk categories can be broken down even further by individual threat. And tornado outlook for tomorrow is very much elevated. Okay, so you can see the red area is essentially where that moderate risk is, that 4 out of 5. And then surrounding that is a large 10%. You can see kind of the real estate we're talking tomorrow. Here's our moderate risk. And then the yellow would be a 10%. And what I want you to notice here, actually, maybe I can change the settings on that really quickly. I think I can. Okay, cool. There we go. So you see that the dashed area, so there's obviously we're in the marginal, or the moderate risk tomorrow. And then you see there's also this outlined in black, this with these hatch markings. That is what the SPC uses, the hatched area, they call it. That is where they expect potentially significant tornadoes. And by significant tornadoes, they break it down even further to being EF2 or higher. Tornadoes are rated on damage, EF0 through EF5. EF2 is a strong tornado plus. So not only is there a risk for tornadoes tomorrow, there's also, unfortunately, an increased risk that some of those tornadoes might be strong and long tracking. Tornadoes typically, especially around here, are quick spin-up tornadoes. They drop, they're EF0, EF1, and they lift. And that's it. They still do damage. All tornadoes should be taken seriously. Again, with tornadoes this year, well, it's not going to be a big tornado. It's only an EF0 or an EF1. Tornado is still a tornado. If you're under an EF0 or an EF1, I don't think you're really going to mind that it's not a 5 or a 4. You're still going to be in a tornado. So just remember that. Take all and every warning seriously, regardless of how intense it looks. Again, so significant. But these could be on the stronger variety tomorrow, not your typical tornadoes around here. So that's something to be mindful of. And again, we are unfortunately very close to bullseye territory on that. Much of Ohio, and this is pretty rare that you see this, much of Ohio is under this moderate plus potential significant tornado risk area. We can break down the threats even higher, though, from tornadoes, because we don't just want to focus on that. Wind damage, again, very elevated. Almost the entire state of Ohio is under an elevated threat for wind damage. And again, the same area, those black hatch marks, significant wind gusts. Some of these thunderstorms that don't produce tornadoes could still produce very strong wind gusts. And a severe thunderstorm by definition is 58 miles per hour or greater. Tomorrow, we could be talking storms that produce winds 70, 80 plus miles per hour. Those are hurricane force straight line winds. So that's something to be mindful of as well. And finally, hail. Another one, see? We are pretty much maxed out, almost maxed out on all these threats, hazards here. This is what I was saying when I said all modes of severe weather are possible. We are right bullseye territory for hail. And unfortunately, just like the tornado threat and the hail and the wind threat, there's a chance that these hailstones will be larger than usual. We're talking golf ball, maybe even baseball size. In some areas. That's possible. That's something to be mindful of as well, especially if you're outdoors or you have vehicles parked outside. If you have a garage, tomorrow's a good garage day, for sure. Okay, I think we got that out of the way. Now we got that covered. Let's, I'm going to make sure my radar's popped up here in the background because we got to have that running, right? Again, no warnings. Only thunderstorms we have right now are south of the river, Kent and Campbell County, and that's what we got right now. Also got storm near Amelia, New Richmond, up towards between Sardinia and Georgetown. No warnings on any of these. That can obviously change very quickly. I'll let you know if it does, but no warnings on any of these right now. And let's go to modeling for tomorrow. I'm actually going to put this to a state view. It says tomorrow again, this is not to incite panic or to make you, super anxious. We just have a very elevated risk for severe weather tomorrow. And remember, in severe weather, let's say you have a 5 out of 5 risk, there's nobody under a 5 out of 5 risk. Is that possible that they upgrade to it? Yes. Do I think they will? No. I think we're good at 4 out of 5. I think that'll cover it. Even at a 4 out of 5 or at a 5 out of 5, does not mean you're going to have a tornado. Does not mean you're going to see severe weather tomorrow. Severe weather, even in an outbreak, and tornadoes, even when there's an outbreak of tornadoes, are still, on the grand scheme of things, very, very micro scale. They are very small compared to a whole area. Even on, let's say, we're about the 50th anniversary of the 1974 super outbreak, and I know if you were alive at that point, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. There were tornadoes all over the place. One of the biggest tornado outbreaks in history. But here's the thing, though. Even with that, I mean, most people didn't see a tornado that day. A significant majority, almost everyone, didn't see a tornado that day. But some people did. And if you were those some people, you know how much that can change things and how disruptive that can be and destructive it can be. So again, I just don't want everybody to be panicking. Tomorrow is a very elevated, could be a very bad, severe weather day across the area. There probably will be tornadoes across the area tomorrow. Not everybody will see them. Small number of people will, though, because again, tornadoes by nature are very small compared to like a whole tri-state area. So the chances is elevated tomorrow for tornadoes in all modes of severe weather, but also significant, long track, strong tornadoes. Okay, let's go forward through the models for tomorrow. And again, we're getting kind of out even further with these models, especially a future radar. It's not going to look exactly like this, but it'll give us a bit of an idea here. Okay, we'll start the clock at 10 a.m. And again, so we'll have that morning round of showers and thunderstorms that'll come through late tonight through maybe even rush hour tomorrow morning. Again, timing on that can be fine-tuned. We kind of got to wait till it develops and slides this way to get the timing a little more narrowed down on that. But just late tonight, severe weather. Okay, we'll start here. Severe weather threat is existent this afternoon and this evening. I guess we're into this evening now, but it is more of an isolated severe weather threat. There's not a lot of activity going on right now. Just be mindful that we could see some severe thunderstorms developing in the area this evening and into early tonight. And then overnight is when we could see the mesoscale convective complex come through, which will have primarily a damaging wind threat with it, and that'll be after midnight and around through about rush hours when the time frame we're watching that for. Damaging straight line winds will be the best threat with that. Isolated tornadoes are possible, and some hail also as well. And then we'll get a break, and then we're here at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, 10 a.m. tomorrow. All right, let's get through this Tuesday setup here. Okay, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. You can see even by 11, this is a day where we might start early too. It's going to be a very long day for me, I have a feeling. I'll be here though. I got you covered. I'm off my day job, which is a night job. I am off tomorrow. I ran up switching my schedule around because I felt it necessary to be here covering things based on the potential significance of tomorrow. So I'll be here, heavily caffeinated. So here's 11 a.m. And so we might get rocking and rolling kind of early tomorrow. 11 a.m., possible thunderstorms around the area. Any storm that develops tomorrow, any thunderstorm that develops has the potential to be severe. So here's 11 a.m. We might have a few scattered to isolated severe storms around. And then we get towards 1 and 2 p.m. And this is kind of a concerning time area. So it'll be late morning, but especially early afternoon is when these are supercells. So these are not your traditional storms. These are large, severe thunderstorms that usually rotate. And they also have the capability of producing very large hail. That's where these supercells, again, don't expect one supercell necessarily to be right there at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Just know that there will be some supercells in the area early to mid-afternoon tomorrow, maybe even starting before noon. Any of these supercells will be capable of producing tornadoes, very large hail. This is where these are the storms that might give you your golf balls and baseballs, and damaging winds, 70, 80 miles per hour. And this is a very concerning look because there's a lot of these discrete, loner type cells. And when a storm like this gets alone, it doesn't compete with any other storm around it for energy. They basically can absorb the environment around them and have it all to themselves, which in this case is not good, because that allows them to kind of maximize their potential for strength. Okay, this will be 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. This is 5 p.m. tomorrow. And again, we have it is supercell city across Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. Lots of supercells possible, at least if this model is correct. And then at the very least, take that as a signal. The signal is there. It's not necessarily the location of all these. The signal is there for scattered to possibly numerous supercells. So it'll be 5 p.m. tomorrow. This model says we got a break. So we have those supercells in the early afternoon, a break, and then we watch this line coming in from the west. This will be along the cold front. The line of thunderstorms possibly severe along the cold front, and these also could be supercells, could be tornadic, could produce hail, could produce winds 70, 80 miles per hour. So this will be nearing the after dinner. So this will be about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, and 1 o'clock. So again, we'll kind of do this one more time for tomorrow. And so we got there's the stuff in the morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., bit of a break. And, as soon as late morning, just before around lunchtime, we might be starting to see our first activity from the second, more important, potentially significant round of storms tomorrow develop. And that'll be, this is 11 a.m. We have the potential for severe thunderstorms already to be popping across the area. Noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And it's afternoon that I think we might see some stuff before that, but I think it's, noon to 4 o'clock is a time frame I'm really watching closely for the development of isolated to scattered supercells, maybe even numerous supercells if everything pans out correctly, which could be, that is a period of time, maybe noon to 4 p.m., 11 to 4 p.m., when there might be warning after warning after warning coming out for a lot of areas. So that's a concerning time. And then we'll kind of maybe get a bit of a break. Again, this is 4, 5, 6 p.m. And then we kind of wait for the possible squall line, broken line of thunderstorms to come through late evening, around dinner time or shortly thereafter. And then everything clears out. Okay? And then we're cooling down very quickly, and might even see some snowflakes on Wednesday night, Thursday. Before I go here, guys, I just want to show you one of our parameters for tomorrow. So this is the significant, again, this isn't to scare anybody. It's just to show that this is what we're dealing with here. It's called the STP. It's a significant tornado parameter. It takes into account energy, wind shear, helicity, etc. A lot of these severe weather parameters, it takes into account and pumps out a number value about the chance of a significant tornado, which would be an F2 or higher. So these values are very high tomorrow, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it'll be noon tomorrow, 1 p.m. And this is why I think, noon to 1 through about 4 or 5 o'clock is when we really need to start watching it. So this scale goes from 0 to 10. You can see we're already at a 3 by 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, and then we get a 4 by 2, got a 4, 5, 6 by 3 o'clock, and you'll just see what I'm talking about here. This is 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We're verbatim on this model. Again, this model, it goes to 0 to 10. This model has an 11 at Cincinnati tomorrow for the significant tornado parameter. Again, that's not a guarantee you're going to get a tornado, but that is technically off the charts. It's off the scale. So this parameter is very elevated tomorrow, and is something that the SPC no doubt took into consideration when upgrading us to a moderate risk, because you can see these higher values are essentially right over that moderate risk area for tomorrow. All right, guys, I think we covered a lot of the prudent information. Again, we don't have a whole lot going on right now across the area. It's interesting. There is a I'm going to watch this storm in Campbell County. It'd help if you could see it. There you go. I'm going to be watching. So here's again, I'll kind of loop this out for you. Here's where we stand right now. So the warm front, I'll show you where that's at. Warm front is just to the north, is essentially draped right across Cincinnati. So these storms are firing right along the warm front, very close to it. And I will say one of the things I'm not particularly liking about this storm here, so that's, again, for reference, got Boone County, Kenton County, and then Campbell County. It's near the New Richmond area. There's no warning on this right now. No warning. But I am watching it because it is starting to develop a little bit of that hook feature. Maybe taking on some supercell characteristics here. I am watching it. There is some very broad weak rotation here. This is velocity. This is where the radar. So I was just showing the rain mode. This is the velocity mode, which shows the radar. It shows which way raindrops are moving in relation to the radar. So opposite colors next to each other. That's called a couplet. Arguably, I guess this could be considered a couplet here, but it's just really not that strong. So I don't really want to emphasize that too much right now. But I'm watching this storm though, because it's giving me that little bit of a kind of, hook gecko look to it there. Not severe, not even a severe thunderstorm warning on this at the moment. But with these things that can change very quickly. So with that, I guess what the plan going forward is to kind of take these as they come. I'm going to be continuing to make a ton of posts. I want to be making so many posts on Facebook, it starts to annoy you. That's how many posts I'm going to be making, because I believe that this needs to be covered, and we want to make sure everybody's aware of the situation. Again, severe thunderstorms possible, as we're seeing showers and thunderstorms possible this evening into tonight. And then a complex of severe thunderstorms possible well after midnight into the early part of tomorrow morning. And then a break, and then from about midday through tomorrow evening. So again, tomorrow all day, prepare for the potential for severe weather. But the highlighted areas, I think, tomorrow will be the morning, very early morning, a break, a short break, and then we might be off to the races pretty quickly tomorrow. Starting as soon as midday. The biggest time frame tomorrow, we'll just call it right now for now. Let's go 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. tomorrow. That's a broad time. We'll narrow it down a little bit as we get closer. But 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. tomorrow, or noon to 10, somewhere around there is our biggest time frame for potential severe thunderstorms, all hazards possible. Large hail up to baseball size, damaging winds, straight line winds up to 80 miles per hour, and tornadoes, possibly significant, are possible. So that's something we have to be mindful of going forward for tomorrow. Lots to talk about, guys. So what I'm going to do right now, that there's this one's, I'm telling you, this one is just giving me a little bit of a vibe here. There's no warning out right now, but see, that's how these are going to go. Like, it went from maybe looking like a more benign storm. Excuse me. There you go. Severe thunderstorm warning just issued for the area highlighted in yellow or orange. This will be the warning from the National Weather Service. National Weather Service in Wilmington, hot off the presses here, guys, has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Bracken County in northern Kentucky, southern Campbell County in northern Kentucky, northeastern Pendleton County in northern Kentucky, southern Claremont in southwestern Ohio, and west central Brown County in southwestern Ohio. They're tagging this with a hazard of 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail being possible. To me, it does not look like they put a tornado possible tag on this, which is good. So definitely some strong winds there, Aspen Grove right now. And the movement on this is, so we'll kind of time this out for you. Movement on this is east at 30. So we'll put a storm tracker on this. That still looks pretty funky. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. There's definitely some rotation in there. We're gonna go again. Let's see, the tag on this is east at 30. We'll kind of do it right through their warning. It is the wrong tool. I wanted this one. Okay, 30 miles per hour. And we will get some city times on here. Kohler in about 4 minutes. Mentor in about 12 minutes. Point Pleasant, 14 minutes from now, you can expect this thunderstorm in your area. Moscow, about 14 minutes. Felicity. Shannon, if you're watching. Felicity. About 28 minutes out. Augusta in about 45 minutes. Again, no tornado warning on this right now. I will say that there is, some rotation there. Which this is south. I'm going to do something real quick. So there is, SPC check to see if they have, they might be issuing a watch for us, but they haven't yet. I'm going to look and see what we're looking at from a CAPE standpoint. Remember, CAPE is convective available potential energy. In other words, thunderstorm fuel. Yeah, so these are surface-based. I can actually see if I can pop that up over here. I'm loving this streaming. I'm learning on the spot, though, so bear with me. Okay. So CAPE, those CAPE maps that I've been showing you on the page. Here's kind of it in real time here. So you can see the warm front is in fact north of Cincinnati, along and north of Cincinnati. So these storms are in an area with surface-based CAPE. So I was wondering if maybe this was still elevated, and that's why they weren't worried about the tornado threat. But I don't know there, guys. No tornado warning on it right now. But I'm just seeing some signs that there might be some weak rotation in there. It's something to be, keeping an eye on at the very least. There's some weak rotation in there. Nothing crazy. No mega gate-to-gate shear or anything like that. But some weak rotation. Something that I'll keep an eye on. But again, there's the severe thunderstorm warning here. For all the areas, cities here, you can see highlighted in orange for 60 mile per hour winds and hail up to 1 inch in diameter. So that's kind of what we're dealing with now. I'll kind of bring it back out full scale. And you can see, yeah, that's definitely a supercell right there. And again, all supercells don't produce tornadoes. So when I say supercell, it doesn't mean, oh my gosh, that's going to be a tornado. Supercell thunderstorms don't, it isn't mandatory that they produce tornadoes. They don't. Most of them don't. Supercell is just a specific type of severe thunderstorm, because you can see it kind of has that classic hook kidney bean shape to it. So that's something I'm watching. At the very least, you can see that's probably a pretty gnarly hail core there at the moment. So an inch, I would say maybe even bigger than that could be possible with this. So here, Mentor in Moscow. Mentor in Moscow. You're up next on this one. You can kind of take a better look at it there. All right, everybody. I think that with no active tornado warnings in the area right now, and things other than this cell seem to be remaining in check, I am going to probably stop this live broadcast for now. If you missed the live version, or you're just now tuning in, the recorded version will be up very shortly, and that'll be kind of where we break down severe weather threat for today. tonight and tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, be weather aware now through tomorrow night, tomorrow evening. Until the front passes tomorrow evening, stay weather aware. Have a way to get warnings. That'll be a smartphone is a great source. A weather radio is a great source. One of those. Make sure you have access to reliable warning information from the National Weather Service going forward tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a very busy day. Could be a pretty bad, severe weather day across the area. Again, that's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to raise awareness that we need to be, hey, Brock, we need to be aware of what's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a pretty significant day. We don't have these big outbreaks that often in this region. So we got to be on guard tomorrow. Everybody, just know where you're going to go if there's a tornado. Have a way to get warnings. We'll be no problem, Marilyn. We'll be here. I plan on getting very little sleep. I don't need it. This is more important. So over the next 36 hours, I will have some more posts on the page here coming shortly, guys, and we'll get through this. It'll be all right. We're in the Ohio Valley in the spring. Severe weather happens. It's just part of the game, nature of the game here. But yes, stay by the page, and don't rely again on updates to show up in your feed on Facebook. I would just check the page, semi-regularly tonight and tomorrow, and refresh it just to make sure you see all my latest thoughts. But for now, this has been an update by weather forecaster Trevor Cole from the Cincinnati Weather Center. And guys, we'll be back on the page, and we will break in as needed. All right, everybody. Well, have a great evening.